Good morning, good morning, good morning. Um, welcome. We are back on here. We are a little bit late today. But that doesn't stop the party. You are very welcome as we share this to our other platforms. How have you been? How has your week been? How has your week been? How has your week been? It is always a pleasure to have you here. So let me know in the chat how you've been as we share this to our audience. You are very welcome. My name is Amanda Kofi Aye, and I am your host and founder of A Dose of Encouragement Inc. So you are very much welcome as we will start in few, right? We'll start in few. Um, I kind of was late today, but hey, we are still up and running, right? That is what matters, regardless of what, right? That is what matters. So, welcome. It is always a pleasure to have you here. It is always a pleasure to be with you here. And I am super excited that I get to have another day, another chance with you, right? It is always a blessing to be able to come on here and have a conversation with you. So, thank you for joining me. This is A Dose of Encouragement Incorporated. As I said earlier on, as we share this to our um, other members out there. So, bear with me for a minute. Right? Bear with me for a minute. But you are very welcome. It is always a pleasure to have you on here. It is always amazing to see you here. It is always great to have you guys coming on here to support us, for us to learn from each other, for us to have a conversation with one another, for us to be able to join the conversation. So you are very much welcome. I don't take your support lightly at all, right? I don't take it lightly at all. I appreciate you very much. So today, as you can see, our topic is having the courage to start again, having the courage to start over, having the courage to restart, having the courage to go back to the beginning, to go back to where you left off, or to go back to where you were constantly left, or where you thought that things were not going the way they should go for you, right? So having the courage to be able to do that, to be able to go back there and retry, to go back there and restart, to go back there and find ways and means that you can push back up to where you need to be, right? So as I share this on our other platforms, do same for me. Let me know who you are here. Let me know where you are watching me from. It is always a pleasure to have you here, and I am super excited to be able to have this conversation with you as we share ideas and as we walk through this topic together today. So, and you are welcome to put any comment that you might have. I'm looking this way because I'm sharing on our other platform. And as I said, pardon me today. Today I am a bit late, right? With an unforeseen, I think my alarm was turned off, right? But we are here, right? Better late than never. That is what is important, right? So we are here and we are going to have that conversation that we should have, that is ordained for us to have today, right? Being able to start over, right? You are more than welcome to put your comment and your questions as well in the chat, right? And then we were going to start in as little as a minute, right? Once I'm able to put this out here in the next minute, right? So you are very much welcome. How has your week been? How has your week been? You know, I like to always do that. How has your week been? How has your week been? So yes, The ability to start over, the courage to start over, right? Every new beginning comes with some form of something dying, something ending, something getting to an end, something going to a halt, right? That is where we have to start over. That is where we have to look for ways and means to get back in the game, if I can put it that way, right? Getting back in the game, getting back in the situation, in the movement, getting back into what, where, or whatever we were doing, getting back into that is what we are talking about here. Most times we forget that we can go back. Most times we forget that we have to do that. Most times we forget that, hey, what is going on? How did we get here? What exactly do we have to do? Most times we forget that, right? So with this quote right here reminds me of life being in series of chapters, life being in a movement, life being one that we can never stop, right? To work on, because look at it this way: what you feel like is an ending for something is a beginning. I salute you to my brother Kwame testimony. How are you doing? Right? Life begins when that starts. Life begins when we feel like the end is near, when we feel like it is an opportunity for us to start afresh. It is an opportunity. I salute you too. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me make sure my volume is up, right? It starts while when we feel like there is no way, or where we are or what we are going on, there is an end to it, right? This serves as a necessary step for us to grow, making space for new things, making space for the other things, making space for things that we never thought it was possible to do, right? So it is always good for us to not only start, but be in that willingness, be in that space to start over, be in that space to go over. I am doing well by grace, and you. I am well. I am well. As I told you earlier this morning, it was I am a bit late, but we are here. Hey, Richmond, I see you, son. How are you doing? Right? So being able to start afresh, being able to go back, guys, as you know how we do it, let us know what your thoughts are on this conversation, right? So the ability to have new experiences and new opportunities is what we're talking about here. The ability to not only say, okay, this is what I was doing, it ended and I'm now going again. The ability to not say that, okay, I got to this space, I got to this side, I cannot do anything about it, so I'm not going to try again. That is what we're talking about here, right? Being able to start afresh, being able to go back to where we were before, right? Every new beginnings comes with some form of the other beginning getting to an end, right? And then I have you said the greatest glory in living lives, not in never failing, but in rising every time we fall. In rising, that was Nelson Mandela. She says that every time we fall, the ability for us to rise up back, the ability for us to not stay down, the ability for us to not say, okay, I'm done, I'm throwing in the towel, that this is it, right? That is what we are working on here, right? Failing is inevitable, right? But the act to rise again, the act to go back, the act to defend and be resilient in what you are doing, the act to say to yourself that, okay, though the life is hitting me left, right, center, but I am going to keep going. Though life is hitting me right, left, right, center, I am now going to stay down. A man is measured by how well he does when he is down, but even most when he is up. How many times he is able to stand up, how many times he's able to get up, how many times he's able to push through. That is how a man is measured. So I said, failing is inevitable, but it is the act of rising that defines somebody's resilience. Starting over is a testament, right, to your ability to face challenges, learn from them, and keep moving. If you could get up the courage or gather the courage to begin, you have the courage to succeed. There you go. Right? Guys, let's invite people on here as well. right? You might, as I always say, you might be somebody's source of blessing, right? So the ability not to stay down, the ability not to say to yourself that, okay, I am down and I'm not going to retry. I am down and I'm not going to start again, is what we're talking about here. The courage to start over, the courage to push, the courage to forge on. And that brings me to that, what you call it. There is this Christian movie out there says The Forge. If you haven't watched it, please go watch it after this, right? The ability to start over. One second, somebody is asking for the link as usual, right? The ability to start over, the ability not to stay down when you are down is what we're talking about here, right? That is what we're talking about here. So it is never too late to be what you want to be. It is never too late to get to where you want to get to. It is never too late to start again. You are not too old to start again. It is never too late to retry. You might have fallen. Life might have given you all the unpleasant experiences, but it is never too late to restart. It is never too late to start again. It is never too late, right? I said, no matter your age, your circumstances, you can always pursue your dreams, your goals, your aspiration, right? Because look at it this way, there is a powerful reminder that the courage to start over again is the first step in you getting to your destination, is the first step in you getting to where you're supposed to get to, is the first step in you finding yourself where you need to be. So maybe things are not going well today for you. Maybe you have pushed through it and you like, okay, I'm done. Maybe you saying to yourself that enough is enough. I have tried severally. It is not working for me. So I'm not trying again. Keep trying. Have the courage to start again. Have the courage to restart. Have the courage to go back to it. Have the courage to do it again. And I have my boss man standing here dancing. Right? Have the courage to start again. My brother Kwame testimony says, "Courage is the quality that enable us to take risk, face challenges, and push past our fear," which is very true. Guys, keep the like buttons coming and keep the sharing as well, right? Help somebody out, right? So keep trying. It is never ever too late to do that. And I always use myself as an example when I was in the military. I could have given up when it got to the qualifying of weapons. I could have given up because I didn't even know that as a right-handed, I was a left eye dominance when it comes to using weapons. So I could have given up over there. I could have said to myself that, okay, enough is enough. This is too stressful. I am not doing it again. I could have given up, right? But with determination, with success, success is short. With determination, success is paramount. With determination, you can get there, right? You can get there. One sec. You can get there. So never think it is too late to start again, right? It is never too late to restart. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, right? It is the opportunity to restart. This time in a more intelligent way. This time you not saying to yourself that, okay, enough is enough. I'm not trying again. This time you saying to yourself that, hey, it doesn't matter. I am going to do it. It doesn't matter. I am going to push on. Right? So it's simply an opportunity to begin again. And I said, failures are not the end, but lessons that guide us. Lessons that pushes us, lessons that takes us to where we need to be, lessons that we cannot get over, lessons where we get to learn, where we get to push, where we get to understand that, hey, regardless of what, I can do it. Without courage, we would never step out of our comfort zones or pursue our dreams. Right? Right? He has his headphones on and he keeps screaming. Right? So it is an opportunity to start over. Right? Starting over means you are equipped with the experience. You are equipped with all the necessary variables out there to win, to succeed, to get better at it, to push to that level that you want to be, right? Because nothing good comes on a silver platter. Nothing good comes without you putting in some sort of work. Nothing good comes without you saying to yourself that, I get it. I am here. I am struggling, but I can retry again, right? I can retry again. The courage to start over, the courage to see yourself as not as a failure, but whatever you went through as a lesson for you, the ability to even have the mentality to say to yourself that I am going to retry, I am going to step up, I am going to redo it again, right? The ability to get up, the ability to push through, the ability to figure out what needs to be done, the ability to get to a space where you and only you can understand what needs to be done. Yes, I have learned that lesson. Courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it, but the success over it, right? But the winning over it. That is what we're talking about here, right? That is what we're talking about here, right? So, what are you going through? And how are you going to succeed? What are you going through? And how are you going to get up again? What are you going through? And where do you want to start again? Right? I said, starting over is the bravest form of self love. Is the bravest form of self love, right? That you love yourself so much that you do not want to see yourself lose. You do not want to see yourself fail. I said, choosing to begin is a radical act of love for yourself. It shows you value your happiness, you value your growth, you value your well being enough to retry again. But most of us, what do? We tend to give up too quick. We tend to not to try again. We tend to not even force at all. We tend to not push through again. That is what most of us do, right? That is what most of us do. Loving yourself enough to retry, loving yourself enough to go back there, loving yourself enough to get up and say that, okay, I am going to retry, I am going to do it again, right? Is what we're talking about here. How well do you love yourself? Right? How well do you love yourself? My brother Kwame Testimony Roy, he says, courage is a choice that we can make over fear, which is true. How well do you love yourself? Right? How well do we love yourself? Excuse me. Do you love yourself? Because look at it this way, you are not starting from scratch, you are starting from experience, from that fear, from that failure, from that space that you were. Right? Right? That is what we are talking about here. Being able to restart, being able to retry, being able to go back to that space, go back to that level and say to yourselves that I want to do it again. Right? That is what we're talking about here. Right? So you might have gone through certain things. You might have gotten, how do I put it? Beaten left, right, center by failure, by fear, right? But you got to step up again. You got to retry again, right? Repurpose whatever you learned from that failure and restart. Repurpose whatever you learned from that state and go back again. Repurpose it and keep pushing, right? Repurpose it. Let me close this out here. Repurpose it, right? And go back to it and retry. Because that is the only way that you will be able to get to where you need to get to. The only way that you will be able to jump off from where you are. Okay. Okay, I'll charge you when I'm done, okay? My boss man says his battery is off. And reduce the volume, okay? Right? So the ability to restart again. Do not be afraid to start over. Do not be afraid to regroup. Do not be afraid to go back to that space and restart. Right? Because every new beginning is an opportunity for us to create a life that aligns with our purpose, aligns with what we want, aligns with where we want to get to. Every new beginning, that is what it comes with. Right? That is what it comes with. Every new beginnings. Right? So don't sell yourself short. Don't think that it is not possible for you to get to that goal of yours. Don't think that it is not possible for you to get to that space you want to be or you have to be. Never think that. Never sell yourself short. Right? Restart. Do not be afraid to start. It is a chance to build something greater than before. It is a chance to build something better than where you were before. And so I wrote here, I said, every new beginning is an opportunity to create a life that aligns more closely with your values, dreams, aspiration. Right? Starting over aligns with that. Starting over means that you get the chance to redo it again. Having the courage to start over means that you get the courage to align certain things the way you want to align it, right? To put certain things in places where you want them to be. Right? So start again. Mike, start again. Go back there. Retry it. Right? Maybe this time started with a purpose. Maybe this time started with some thought to it. Maybe this time started with fully preparedness. Maybe this time take it one variable at a time, right? And that is where we go back to having the vision board. Spread it out. Maybe this time you have to spend a little bit time on one variable, making sure that it aligns accordingly with what you needed or you need to get to where you need to get to. Right? So start over. Do not be afraid to start over. Do not be afraid to redo it again. Do not be afraid to get into that. So if it was education that you went in and you failed, get back there. Get back there. Because nobody is going to do it for you. If you do not believe in yourself, nobody will. Right? We are like magnets and we attract what we see. We attract our variables. So attract the good ones by standing up for yourself, by restarting for yourself, by going back right on those experiences and retrying them. We all have days that we feel like, okay, enough is enough. We all have days that we feel like, okay, I cannot do this. We all have days that we feel like, I am done and I'm not going to try this again. There is a saying that my mother used to say, right? It says, because you were choked by water doesn't mean you're not drinking water again. The fact that something did not go well for you doesn't mean that you cannot retry. The fact that you failed that education or that exam doesn't mean that you cannot retake it. The fact that you haven't gotten to that job, that destination that you want to see yourself, doesn't mean that you cannot get there. It doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter where you are in life, Mike, right? It doesn't matter. Get up, guard up, and restart. Guard up and research what you did wrong that last time and don't repeat it. Right? But never be afraid to restart. Never be afraid to go back and retry. Never be afraid to take that bull by the horn. Because I always say, a problem you don't hold by the horn remain resident in your life. Right? So don't be afraid to start. Right? I said courage is the power to let you go to that familiar but distinct place. Right? Familiar but distinct in the sense that this time you're not doing what you did last time. Right? And I said stepping away from what's comfortable takes immense braveness. Starting over requires letting go of the known and embracing the unknown. So I knew this. I know this. I have tried this. It did not work for me. This time, I need to be able to get out of here. Mr. Richie, I see you here. Good morning. How are you doing? Right? To get out of here and push over there. Be uncomfortable over there. Be at a place where you cannot go back to that same familiar place. Right? So courage means that you having the power to let go of things that you are comfortable with, of places that you are used to. And pushing through the places, I'm well, that you do not know how, what it's gonna be like, where, what are you going to be doing? Because that always make you prepared. That always push you out there. That always tell you that, hey, you are in a new territory. So you gotta push through. You gotta do what is best for that thing that you are pursuing. My brother Kwame testimony, he said, gathering courage is not like gathering grains or fruit. Gathering courage comes from within to face any situations so that pressure in life would not force you to bend backward to satisfy others. Building courage is to learn things seriously to become expert in the field of activity, right? Gathering courage is very important in situations where you have to wake up, sit straight, and will over others. I can end all this, right? Because he summed everything up. So if you are a people's pleaser here, this is the time that you sit up. If you are going backwards for people and overlooking your own values, this is the time to sit up. Sometimes you gotta say no. You gotta be comfortable saying no. There is something that I learned in the military that the worst they can tell you is no, right? That is the worst anybody can tell you. So you gotta utilize that. Sometimes you gotta tell people no. Sometimes you gotta say to people, enough is enough. I am not doing this anymore. I am not bending over for you. I am not going to satisfy your curiosity or your how do I even put it? Your gain, right? Have the ability to go back to that space where you were once uncomfortable, right? And build on. We are hitting these topics because it's the beginning of the year. And this is where most people tend to give up before the year even starts. Because of past experiences, because of what they have been through last year, because of what didn't go well for them. But look at it this way. That thing came to you or came in your way because what? You were supposed to learn from it. You were supposed to gather the variable, gather the nugget that you can get out there and keep moving and keep pushing, right? And then I said, take the steps, the first steps in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. You don't have to see the whole outcome. Just take the first step. You don't have to see the certificate in your hand. Just take the bold step by registering for that class, by starting that business, by asking those questions that you think they are stupid. Right? Right? Start over that. Right? Because starting over, I know for a fact that starting over can be overwhelming. But the moment you get that first step out of the way, everything else fall back in place. Everything else keep going. Everything else keep getting better. Right? At that. So what are some even importance why we need to gather the courage to start over? Right? Embracing that growth and change. My brother Kwame Testimony wrote, how should I give myself the courage to start over and reinvent myself? What is the reason why you started that thing that didn't work for you in the first place? What outcome do you want to see? Where do you want to see yourself from here? What actually is what hungers you? What gives you that burning desire, that burning sensation? What is that one thing that cannot get out of your head about that particular thing that you didn't get to, or that you weren't able to get to that finish line? What is that? If something keeps you up at night, keep going back to it. It starts with the little steps. Start by those flip thing that I taught you. So first of all, to even answer this question, what is making you not have the courage to live again? Let's go there a little bit, right? What is that one thing, or what is that, Mike? What is that one thing preventing you or making you think that you cannot live life again? Right? Start there. And when you are able to figure that out, use the flip method, that we spoke about. How many of us here know what the flip method is? Please put in the chat for me, right? Because on here, what we do is we learn from each other, right? So put in the chat for me if you know what the flip method is. My brother Kwame Testimony, do you remember what the flip method is? Do you remember what the flip method is? Are you there? Now, for the sake of those who don't know what the flip method is, right? It's you picking up, maybe you are in the space of always negative talking on yourself, on what you have going on what is not working for you, right? So the flip method will be, get yourself a piece of paper, right? I told you guys that this would, guys, 1 second, reduce that. Take it to the living room, please, okay? So you taking a piece of paper, pardon me, guys. Today he's up and his headphones are out, so you gotta deal with him on that. So pick up a piece of paper, right? This is the flip method. And fold it into two, right? Now you folding that sheet of paper into two. A step by step, a step by step out. Okay. All right. That is true, right? So take a piece of paper, flip it in two. On one side, write all the negatives, the negative self-talks. What is making you not to want to live again? All of that. I am ugly. Nothing good will come out of me. I am a failure. Write that. Right? And then once you've done that, on the other side of it, on the other side of it, have flip it. Flipping it means that you are going to rewrite whatever negatives you have here to its positive. So if I'm ugly, what is it going to be? I'm beautiful, I'm handsome, right? If it's I'm a failure, it's going to be the opposite of it, right? If it's I can do it, it's going to be the opposite of it. So whatever you wrote or whatever is the negative self-talk for yourself, right? You are going to rewrite it, right? Rewrite it in a positive manner. That is the starting point. That is the flip it method, right? Now you've done that. Paste this somewhere that you can see every day when you get up, and say those positives to yourself, right? And that's where positive affirmations also come in, because look at it this way: we are who we think we are. So look in the mirror and affirm those positivity to yourself. My brother, Kwame testimony, do you get it so far? Right? Have those positivity to yourself, right? And don't think that you are quote unquote useless, right? Say those positivity to yourself. I am beautiful. I am handsome. I am able. I am well to do. Because you realize that in no time, the negative thinking shifts to positives. You realize that in no time, you're not only not speaking of negatives anymore, everything that comes out will be the positives. Everything that comes from your mouth will be those good things, those positive stuff that you need, right? You realize that. So keep having those positive thoughts, right? Coming in. So that's number one. That's how you can start using the flip it method and then using those positive affirmations. My brother Kwame's testimony. I hope I answered your question. Guys, if you do have any questions, feel free and ask, and keep liking and keep sharing this for us, right? So the first reasons why it is important for us to gather the courage and restart is embracing that growth, embracing that change, right? Embracing that ability to go back there, to find ourselves in a space where we are able, right? We are able to do. Flip it. It's flip it method is setting goals and actually achieving them. Flip it is starting goals, setting goals, and actually achieving them is easier said than done. It is easier said. Everything in this world is easier said than done. It needs discipline, it needs consistency, and it needs the I can do. I can, I will, I have. It needs these three things. I can, I will, I have, right? So without these three things, they're not going to work. Without these three things, you are going to have it all right, but they're not going to work, right? So you got to look at that in that aspect too, right? So you're right. They are easier said than done, but it can be done with the you having certain goals that are attainable, right? That is what we're talking about. Certain goals that are attainable, because you cannot set goal that is not attainable. You cannot set goals that is not you are not able to achieve, that you're not able to get to. So start small, right? Start little by little and get there. Start little by little and push through it, right? So you can do it. I can, I will, and I have, right? So the ability to embrace growth and change, right? And then I said, life is ever changing and clinging to what no longer serves us, right? If you are all up in the past, if you are all up screwed in what didn't happen yesterday, you're not going anywhere, right? You will not go anywhere, right? The ability, another important, is also being able to turn our failures into opportunity, right? Turning our failures into opportunity, right? That is the courage to restart, turning our failures into opportunity, into what needs to be done, right? That is what we're talking about here. Being able to turn that failure into something greater, that failure into something marvelous, right? Turning failures into opportunity. Starting again means reframing failure as a stepping stone rather than an endpoint, right? When we restart, we use failure as a stepping stone, because guess what? We are able to not only learn from it, we are able to not only pick nuggets from it, but we are able to use whatever we took, polish it, and keep moving, right? We are able to do that. We are able to do that. Reclaim your life back. Reclaim that courage back. Reclaim that purpose back. It might not be easy, because maybe you gave everything you had into that. Maybe you poured all of it into it, and you cannot serve from an empty vessel. You got to refill up. So if it means you haven't certain healing done, do it. If it means you haven't regrouping done, do it. If it means you going to the place where you repair your own self, do it, and come back stronger. Have that courage to start again. Have that courage to keep on going. Have that courage to keep pushing, right? And then the next important of having to have the courage to start over is building inner strength and confidence. It builds you up. It gives you that stamina, that momentum to start over. It gives you that ability to regroup, right? By taking that leap to start over, especially after adversity, especially after you being broken down, demonstrate incredible bravery. Demonstrate that, hey, life might have hit me, but I'm not going to stay down. Life might have hit me, but I'm not going to let it beat me down, right? Proven to your own self. Sometimes you don't need to prove to anybody. Sometimes you don't need to let anybody know that you can do it. Sometimes you need to prove to your own self that I can, that I still have that ability in me to regroup and refocus and get to where I need to get to. Sometimes that is all it takes, right? Proving to your own self. That is all sometimes it takes. Sometimes that is all it takes. Because look at it this way. We have the power to do everything that we want to do. We have the power to change the outcome of the narratives. We have the power to not only build that life that we want for ourselves, but to also make it in such a way that nobody can take that glory from us. We have that power. So stop looking down on yourself. Stop thinking that it is not possible. Stop thinking that, oh, that thing took all my integrity. That thing took all my pride. Yes, it might have. But start again. Start again. As long as you have life, as long as you are able to breathe, you are able to get up in the morning, as long as you're not talking negative on your own self, as long as you can dust yourself up like that camel that was put in that grave, right? The owner thought that it was putting it in that grave to die. Or when it fell in that pit, the owner left it, right? But what did it do? It kept digging a little sand underneath him, right? Little by little, keep digging that little sand underneath you. Little by little, keep going, right? Keep pushing it. And then he steps up. He shakes it and he steps up. Do it that way, because what you are doing is you reshaping your purpose. What you are doing is you reshaping your focus. What you are doing is you reshaping and reclaiming what was lost. The courage to start over is what we're talking about here, right? It needs you digging deep sometimes, digging way deep in your own self. Because even if you are out of options, even if you don't have anything at all to fall back on, there is always that little voice in us that tells us that we can do it again, that it is not over yet, right? I can tell you this, it will not be easy. Let me tell you all example story. There was something that I went through, right? Mid last year, towards the end of the year. And I said to God, I said, I didn't want to try again, but I said, I need a quick healing, right? This is tough, but I need a quick healing, right? And He did that. He gave me that. I was surprised at my own self being able to redo what I said I couldn't do anymore. Because guess what? Every time that I went to that space where I said, I cannot do this anymore, where I said, oh, this is not working for me, where I said, okay, enough is enough, there was something that kept pushing me, saying to me that you can, you will, and you must. So you might be in that dying stage, in that difficult moment, in that space where you think that, okay, where do I go from here? Things are hitting me left, right, center. What do I do? Dig deeper. Find that inner voice. Find that voice that nobody hears but only you. Right? Find it. Because I realized that no human is superhuman. Right? And so the moment you realize that you're going into the negative Nancy's, snap out of it. The moment you realize that all you do is talk negative, snap out of it. Right? Snap out of it. Dust it off. Right? The moment you find that, dust those off and keep pushing. right? So another importance is also it breaks us free from stagnations. Because if we failed, we're not trying again. If we failed, we're like, okay, enough is enough. If we failed, we're saying to ourselves that I'm not doing this anymore. And we get stuck. We are stagnant. We find ourselves in that same space again. Right? But being able to have the courage to start over breaks us out of it. Right? And then I said, fear of unknown often keep people stuck in the unfulfilling situations, right? Feeling of what if it doesn't work? What if I don't get to my destination? What if I don't get where I need to get to? But what if you are able to? But courage enables us to break free from it, from the complacency. Don't be complacent with where you are. Don't be complacent with your situation. Don't be complacent with that phase you see yourself in. Don't be complacent, right? Because when you become too complacent, nothing pushes you from pushing forward or retrying, because you are okay. You've accepted the situations. You've accepted the what you call it, the failure where you are. You've accepted it, right? You've accepted it, so you're not even trying, right? You're not trying. One sec. You are not even trying again to restart, because you are okay where you are. You are okay where you find yourself. You are okay in the situation that you see yourself in. You're okay. Don't be okay. If that thing is now where you want to get to, don't be okay with it. If that space is not where you want to get to, do not be okay with it, right? It opens new doors for us too. It opens new opportunity for you. It opens new avenues for you. Starting over offers a clean slate for us, right? It allows us to start afresh. It allows us to see opportunities that we weren't able to see before, right? Open doors does that. It demonstrates our resiliency, right? It demonstrates our resiliency, right? It aligns with our purpose in life, our personal purposes in life. What is the purpose that you had behind that goal? What is the purpose you have behind that dream? What is the purpose you have behind that aspiration of yours? What is that purpose? Right? What is that purpose? It aligns with that, right? It leads to greater fulfillment, right? It leads to greater fulfillment. I said, when we have the courage to leave behind what doesn't serve us and start afresh, we open ourselves to more authentic and fulfilling life, right? It gives us that personal alignment with our purposes, that purpose that you have, that dream that you have, that aspiration that you have. It aligns with it. It allows us to also cultivate hope, right? In all situations. Hope that it's going to work. Hope that we're going to get there. Hope that things are going to fall back in place because we're retrying. Hope that it is not over until we say it is over. It is not over until we say that we are done. It is not over until we get to a place where we feel comfortable. Right? It leads to honor of one's worth. You are worth more your failure. You are worth more than the adversaries. You are worth more than what you're going through. So it allows us to honor that worth that we have. I said having the courage to start align again is an act of self-respect. It is a way of affirming that we deserve better than where we are. We deserve better than what we're going through. That our problems are not our testimony. That our problems doesn't make us. Right? So it allows us to honor that worth. How much are you worth? Having the courage to start over allows you to see that, to see your worth. Because most of us, the moment we in struggle, we forget what we are value. We lose ourselves in it, in that failure, in that struggle, in that pain. It is okay to grieve. But when you are done grieving, dust off, get up and push, right? Get up and move. Get up and keep going. Get up, right? And walk through it. Your situation might be dying. Your situation might be one that you yourself, you think that you cannot work with it anymore. As I always say, sometimes it might be just you, yourself, and your problem. There will be no outer help. There will be no outer support, right? But when you get to a place where you've had enough, where you get to a place where you said to yourself that I have sat here way too far. I have sat in here way too long. It is time for me to get up. It is time for me to push through. It is time for me to go. You get some sort of courage that you never thought you had. Gather the courage to start over. Last year might not have been a better year for you. Last year might not have been a greater year for you. Last year might not have been a year that you achieved anything that you ever proposed to achieve. And so you asking yourself, do I really want to go over this all over again this year? Go over it. Because look at it this way. A man is not measured when he is standing, but he is measured when he is down, and the ability for him to get up, the ability for him to retry, the ability for him to start up and say that, hey, let me dust it off and keep moving. So you might not have gotten what you wanted or what you planned for last year. It's okay. It's a new year. It's a new beginning. It's a new start. Go back to that drawing board. Go back to that vision board. Did you even put that vision board in place? Is the question you have to ask yourself. I said earlier on, if you don't have a board that you can write on, use a piece of paper. Paste it anywhere you can see it. Let us stare at you day in, day out. Work on it one at a time. Work on it one step at a time. One step at a time. Giving up is not an option. Failure is not an option. It might come to mind that, yes, you got to give up, but it is not an option. Because that is not who you are built to be. That is not who you are meant to be. That is not where you are meant to be. Because you might be surprised how many people are looking at you, that you are a role model that you don't know. You are their source of them keeping on. You are their source of them keep pushing through. You are their source of them not giving up. You might not know. So giving up is not an option. It is okay to take a break. It is okay to say that, okay, I'm going to look at certain things, but we're going to put this right here for a minute. It is okay. That is not you giving up. But when you do that, remember to come back to it. When you do that, remember to come back to it. We have done something for years and still not gaining results. So that is where it go back to the places that I said I think last year. I think we had a similar conversation about a similar topic, and then I said, go back to the drawing board. Pick up what you have done, the steps that you went through it, how you did it, and take each one apart, right? Take each one apart. Maybe I did this. This is how I did it. Let me revisit it and see if there was anything I could do better, if there was anything I could change, right? And again, the fact that somebody is in business doesn't mean you have to be in business. Do we get that? The fact that that person is doing well doesn't mean that you are going to do well. Maybe that is their calling. That is not your calling. But have the courage to go back to that blackboard, to go back to that drawing board and say, okay, I was supposed to get to this result. Now I am here. What am I doing? What did I do wrong? How did I tackle this? That is what you got to ask yourself. So it works hand in hand with the flip it method. It works hand in hand. We sieving off that circle we have. It works hand in hand with who do you have in your inner circle? Who is advising you? Who is pushing you? Are the people in your life pushing you? Are the people in your life telling you that it is okay to go this way? And yet they are not teaching you. They are not able to tell you when you are doing something wrong. Because either they are scared of you getting upset with them, either they are afraid of you insulting them, either they are afraid of you cutting ties with them. But sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to cut off certain ties that are not helping you, certain ties that are not pushing you to your greatness, certain ties that are not that are preventing you from getting to that height you have set for yourself. Right? What happened? It's okay. Stop jumping on there. Right? So my brother Kwame's testimony that yes, life can be unfair. You might have helped somebody thinking that they're going to help you back. But you should be helping someone without having any mindset of getting anything in return, because that way when things doesn't happen, you don't get your dreams shattered. Right? Sometimes we got to learn that the hard way. Right? We got to learn that the very hard way. Sometimes we got to go through certain things to know what you have to do. So as much as life can be unfair, it is a lesson. Right? Stop dwelling on the past. Stop dwelling on the things that did not work. Stop dwelling on how unfair life was. And gather that courage to get up again. And gather that courage to build for yourself again. And gather that courage to see yourself where you need to see yourself at. Right? Gather that courage. I get it. Sometimes it feels like, okay, I'm not even going to try again. But try again one more time. This time with a clear purpose. This time with a clear mindset. This time with a clear attitude. This time with you stepping in every variable and looking at it from two sides. How it will help you get to your goal and how it would not help you get to your goal. I have looked down on myself. Yes, that is what we do sometimes. Don't look down on yourself. Don't look down on yourself, right? Because we attract who we think we are. If that is what you are thinking of yourself, that is the people you are going to attract. I'm telling you. You're going to be attracting people that look down on themselves. And where do you go from there? Have people that you can look up to. Have people that can push you beyond your capacity. Have people in your life that they can push you to your God's given responsibility and talent. Stop looking down on yourself because you tried something and it didn't work. Because you did something and it didn't work. Try again. It might be hard, but keep trying again. All right? Stop looking down on yourself. Right? We know how many times billionaires got to try over and over and over again to be able to get to where they are. Our story is not different from them. The only difference between us and them is that they chose not to give up. They chose not to look down on themselves. They chose not to let the circumstances and the struggles they're going through let them stop. My brother, Kwame testimony. Maybe I need to get on the phone with you after this. Are you doing the flip it method? Are you doing everything we're learning in here? Because if you are, you should be getting somewhere. Right? You should be getting somewhere. No. See, can you all see what he's doing here? Before we jump off here, can you all see what he's doing here? He is, whatever he's putting in here is what he's been thinking of himself. Whatever he's putting in here is whatever he think he is. Me? Not you, baby. Who? Somebody I'm talking to up here. No. That's a small boss man out there. I jump in. Right? So now he's talking of, he's not getting anywhere. He's looking down on himself. It's eating him up. Negative self-talk. Negative self-talk. And the more you keep saying those, the more our brain is set up in a way that what we feed it is what it manifests. Right? So now you feeding your brain and your conscience with these negative self-talk. You will never be able to get out of it if you do not work on getting out of that negative self-talk. So this is what I'm going to do. Right? As part of what ADOEI is known best to do. You and I are going to be working on this together. Okay? You and I are going to be working together on that. You cannot be seeing yourself like this. You cannot be talking negative like this to yourself and expect a different result. So we are going to get on the call once I'm done, right? With the coaching, what do you call it? I do. And guys, that is what I do, right? Sometimes I coach people on that too. That doesn't mean I know everything, right? But we get to help each other. That is why this community up here, right? Aside we being able to get to what you call it, support the needy, support the orphanages, right? We are also able to help one another to get out of the funk, get out of unstuck themselves, right? So we are going to work together, my brother Kwame testimony. But you have to be willing to get out of that negative self-talk. You got to be willing to get out of those negative Nancy's, okay? Those negative Nancy's, you got to be willing to get out of it. So we're going to work on that. So guys, as we go out, today is Saturday, as we go out into the week, right? because today we've gone a little over since I came late, right? On here. Usually we are on here 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. By 8 we are out, unless there are questions and contributions that would take us a little bit. But I came in here about 8:15 there, 7:15 there about. So that's why we are here, right? But let's go out there and revamp, get our courage back, right? Learn to start over again. And as I said, if I have to, I have gathered the courage always, but when it gets tougher, I feel like giving up. Yes, we are going to work on that. 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 Okay? We will work on that. So we will work on that. Let's go out there. Go.
No, I eat too.
Scratch. Let's go out there and work on how we can start over. Work on we not sitting in that funk. We not sitting in that stuck place. We not sitting in that space where we feel like all is lost, right? If you need the flip it method, I can help you with that. If you need to get on a call with me for coaching, I can do that as well, right? But let's help each other. For the starting, let's help each other. That is what this community is. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Amanda Akrofi. I am the founder of A Dose of Encouragement Incorporated, where our main focus is helping eradicate poverty in our own small way, in our own little way, by supporting the needy, orphanages here and there, right? So this year, our social impact project will be coming up again, right? And we will let you all know, right? But as we go out there, right, let us learn how we can get our courage back to start again. God bless you too, my brother. Kwame Testimony. Let us go out there and let us push it. Let's send this to all other platforms that we can send it to, right? Instagram, TikTok, right? And that is our website that Mr. Kwame Testimony has also put there. Check us out. If you want to be part of us, you are more than welcome to do that, right? Use the join us button right there, and then or use the send us message button right there and send us a message. Also, if you are in the position to support us, because ADOEI is a 501 company, which is a tax exempt company, that you can write off your taxes if need be, right? Any little amount, reduce this thing. Any little amount is welcome, but help us be a beacon of hope to these individuals that we support. Help us. Yes, Social Impact Project 2025. He was part of the Social Impact Project 2024, and it was amazing, right? You can have all those clips and all those videos on our platforms where we supported these children with educational materials, right? So that it can make, it can lessen the burden on their family, right? So Social Impact Project 2025 will be launching that in no time for us all to know where we are going this year. If you want to be a volunteer, you are more than welcome. If you want to be part of the organization, you are more than welcome to also reach out to us. If you want to support the organization, you are as well welcome to do that, right? And we thank you very much. We don't take your support lightly at all. If you haven't followed us yet, please do well and follow us on all our social media platforms. TikTok, not TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn as well, right? Follow us and let us, I'm going to be there. Yes, I know you are. And let us build this community together. Let us build a place where people belong and people don't look down on each other, but each neighbor has somebody's back, right? We all have each other's back. Until then, again, my name is Amanda Akrofi Aye, and I am always delighted to be on here with you all, sharing my ideas, learning from you as well as you learn from me. So look out for project Social Impact Project 2025 as we will bring it to you. Until then, I sign out, right? If you do have any concerns or any comment as well, feel free and reach out to us, and we'll be able to, if we are not in the position to support you, we will direct you in the right direction to get the support that you need. Until I come your way again next week. See ya. Let's keep the conversation going on what and how we can start building or start over, right? With the courage that we get, right? Bye for now.